other levels of stress, everything passes, given enough time.
What about finding the root cause of the stress rather than looking at the surface that makes it? So what advice would you?
Some things are a bit more complicated than others. There's different layers, like an onion. You open it up and there's more layers to this whole problem, and then you start to dig beneath the surface and there's more things and other things that unravel. I think in those kind of situations, it's almost as if you have to learn at what point you stop, reassess, come back. Because I think there is such a thing of opening a can of worms. You might have a problem and there is a root problem, but can you solve the root problem? The thing is, when you have a goal in life, at work or wherever, when you look at the task and it's a big enough task, it will scare you off. You say, I don't want to do it. But if you look at a task, like for example, in my day-to-day life, I do a bit of programming on the side as well as my day job. But in programming, for example, when you look at a big task, when you're building something, you look at it and it can be quite daunting. It's just a put off. I don't want to do it. There's so much to do. I don't want to. Where do I start? Where should I start? So you start asking questions. You start doubting yourself. But if you break it down and you do little things, step by step, little by little, you complete this stuff. Okay, this is a big thing that you need to do, and this can be. You could take this and add it to any other bit of your life or other things that you're going through. It's the same applies. So I've got a big enough task. I'm not sure where to start. But if you break it down into sizable chunks and objectives that you can meet, you'll find that actually, given enough time, you would have already completed the task. But you need to break things down. So if you're under a lot of stress and it's a big thing and it's taking over your life, what can you do today that can control an aspect of managing that stress? Whether it's reassessing, saying, okay, let me take a step back. No, let's not argue about that. Okay, let me try to compromise on this. Or if, for example, you're going through work and you're struggling with work, or you're being made redundant on all those type of things. What can I do? Take one thing. Okay, I can control this element. Start doing this. Start doing that. Start applying whatever. Small goals, and eventually, what will happen is you'll build up to having completed the whole task or having managed that whole level of stress or that root problem as a whole. But I think the biggest thing that you need to be able to focus on is, I've got this thing in front of me, and if it's complicated enough, it's going to be enough to just switch you off, and you're going to probably just like bury your head in the sand. So I think break it down into things that you can achieve, that are realistic, and manage it that way, as opposed to taking on the whole task. What do they say? There's a saying, a smooth sea never made a good sailor. Yeah, everyone. It's like when you have a home, you have a flat, whatever, wherever you live. In your home, there's going to be problems. Plumbing's going to go one day. Toilet's is broken the next day. This is broken. These things have to happen. They will happen eventually, inevitably. So no one goes through life. It's the way
you look at things, isn't it?
It's just your perspective on it. Yeah. If something happens and you look at it, why me? Then you're one of those people, unfortunately, that is in a constant state of, looking for some kind of pity, self-pity almost as well on yourself, and also as if you're some type of victim. But if things happen and you're the type saying that something's happened and you act on it and you do something about it, guess what? You're the other percentage of the people that actually look at a problem. There's a problem that's happened. Fine, let's get on with it. Let's do something else. Let's keep moving. That's where you need to be. But if you're constantly in a space where you're just looking for blame and you're looking for somebody else to blame, you're blaming yourself, you're constantly in a self-loathing, self-pity state. Why me? Why does this always happen to me? You're never going to get into a mindset of being the person that does something about it when there is a problem.